Here as you're frozen as we go live. All right. And welcome to, and as always, special edition, because I realize I say special edition every time, but another special edition of Inside the Distance podcast, episode number 30. I'll talk with Garrett in a minute about how that's crazy. But before that, not a surprise, but welcomed Savage session number 4 here with the Savage herself, Gillian Robertson. Fresh off a return successful trip from Fight Island. You talked with Fight Bananas, you talked with Dave a few days ago. I won't retread too much, but how are you doing from that return trip? Have you found a way to forgive yourself for your performance? And there she goes. All right, we're good. We're good. All right, perfect. Hi. Speaking of perfect performances, the Wi-Fi over at Dean's house. Perfect. Chef kiss, Dean. How you doing? Welcome back from Fight Island.
Not usually. Gosh. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm sorry.
It's all good. If you have to jump in and out at any point, I can definitely kill a little bit of time also. But how are you doing? Welcome back from Fight Island.
Oh, I'm doing great. Just getting over that jet lag and just celebrating this win a little bit this week and getting back to work.
Celebrating with a little bit of work, of course. First of all, have you gone back and revisited your performance from Saturday? And if so, have you kind of forgiven yourself a little bit compared to how you were as your hand was raised?
Honestly, no. I guess I'm thankful and I'm happy for the experience. I'm happy that I was able to go out there and perform. There's nothing that I love more than being able to do that, being able to go into the octagon and do what I love. So I'm thankful for that, but I'm still not happy without the win and without the finish.
Yeah, we did get the win still. So the finish rate of 100% is now at like 86.66% or something. I'm not good with the math. I'll leave that to you. But I'll say it for you. It was a really impressive performance to me. Your ground and pound. I remember talking to you after the Casey fight, the Courtney Casey fight, I should say, since I just interviewed Casey O'Neill, so I don't want to be specific here. But the Courtney Casey fight, where you were kind of upset you didn't get to punch her in the face enough. You punched and elbowed Polyana in the face a lot. So, how's your elbow doing? Are your elbows good? I know your knees are probably healing up still, but how's the elbows?
Honestly, the knees are probably the worst thing. Just that mat burn, it's next level intense. Like, people don't realize how rough that cage is. But my elbows are healing up okay. I got a little bump, a little bruise, but we're good no matter what. And I'm just ready to get back to work, get back in there.
Yeah, and you did call out Shevchenko, who you're now ranked ahead of, so it's just like a little bit of too little, too late. Dave talked about it also. I'm not as candid as Dave. She turned down the fight with you. You were all set to go with that fight, and she chose to not fight you. So she's missed the opportunity to experience the Savage cuddling. And just go ahead and work through the Wi-Fi here. So really anybody who's ranked 1 through 12, that's who you're actually 12th now. You're ranked 12th, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I heard a yes in there. So she's ranked 12th. So she's looking for anybody 11 to 1. Is there any particular name you've readjusted your sights on now that Shevchenko is behind you in the rankings? And we're frozen again. So, Gillian, go ahead and pop in and pop back out. And I'll just bring on Garrett real quick. So I'm going to take you off, pop in and pop out. We'll talk to you in a second. Pause the Savage session for 1 second. All right. Hey, Garrett.
What's up, everybody? How's it going?
Welcome. Yeah, welcome to Inside the Distance. Real quick, we're just going to kill some time while Gillian gets her Wi-Fi figured out over at Dean's house, which is all the way across the street from her new house. And so,
oh, really? Nice.
Yeah,
I like it.
I mean, she literally moved to be right across the street from Dean. So
Can't beat that.
yeah,
Perfect.
so maybe if we need her to run across, run home, but she's, what did you think of Gillian's performance on Saturday?
Damn near perfect. Damn near perfect. But if you saw the fight, her opponent was she was scared shitless of giving her back. She'd rather stay in half guard and get pounded. She'd rather stay, and mount and get pounded. So
yeah,
I think it's perfect. But yeah, you can get back to it.
No, we'll catch back up with you, Garrett.
Yeah,
but I'm seeing a black screen still, which is really good. But all right, Gillian. It's still a little bit. Actually, it is a black screen. By a little bit of black screen, it's an all black screen right now. So I'm not sure what's going on. Keep working through it. When I kind of see a little bit of video in the green room, bring you back on. But just keep working through it, and we'll get you back on here. So, message me if you need to. All right. So,
back.
Welcome back, Chopped Liver. My co-host Chopped Liver here, who when I can't talk to Gillian, I guess I'll talk to him. My other G, Garrett, the fight analyst. How you doing, GK?
I'm doing great, man. But hey, I'm okay with being Chopped Liver here. Gillian, the Savage Robinson, she's way up here on the total pole. Okay, of the guests that we have on here, so she's got to be put on this pedestal. She comes before me, so don't worry, guys. But what I was saying before, great performance. Wow,
yes. Phenomenal
performance. And like I said, she'd rather get punched in the face to get choked out. She was afraid to give her back. It was crazy.
And I obviously was paying extra attention to everything Polyana's been doing for the last month or so. So when the interview came in of a jet-lagged, drained Polyana talking about how she was not afraid of Gillian's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I was like, you're afraid of Gillian's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. If you're not, then you're really getting choked out. Like
exactly.
And she had definitely had a broken orbital bone of 100%. I can't imagine she's been able to fly out of Abu Dhabi yet with that kind of swelling around her eye also. So, Gillian booked Polyana an extended stay. Polyana has not been on social media the last few days either. So I don't have really any updates on that. And right now I see a nice set of Gillian's shoulders frozen, which is, really, great.
She's moving. Get her on before
I see. Yeah. Goodbye, Chopped Liver. And welcome back, my podcast content queen here, Gillian. You're making this absolutely perfect Savage session. This is the only thing more perfect than your fight. So
the struggle.
Yeah, I'm bringing out my pen, the key to my success. But first of all, have you been enjoying being kind of back to your status quo in the marijuana department just a little bit? Would you care to divulge about your Vegas experience, or do we want to keep that off the podcast?
Yeah. Obviously, getting back from Abu Dhabi, first place I stopped was the dispensary at 2 a.m. So that was the go-to stop, and I think I might have overdid it a little bit on the way home, where it was just, the edibles in Vegas are serious. They're real. And take them with caution.
That's your PSA from your Savage PSA here. Take your edibles with caution, especially when you're on jet lagged after beating a person's orbital bone for about 15 minutes straight. And just to go back to Polyana real quick, and then I will move on from her. Before the fight, the interviews, I don't know if you watch them or not, but in the interview, she was talking about how she was not afraid of your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is just like pretty much like the worst thing I feel like someone could say to you, to be honest. Like, for one, that probably means they're terrified of your jiu-jitsu. If they're immediately like, yeah, I'm not. What are you talking? Who's afraid of that? And two, if she wasn't, she would have gotten submitted because in that fight, her only objective was to not give you her back, apparently. Because she was like, I'd rather get elbowed in the face over and over again. I am keeping my shoulders on the mat. I am not doing the same mistake I've done. We talked about before the fight how she always gave up her back and her neck, and every time getting up. This time she decided to just not get up. So, you know, what are your thoughts on how your fighting ability literally just changes people's plans? I mean, she was getting yelled at every time she threw a kick by her corner after the first round. Literally, I don't know if you could hear it or not, but we could hear it on the broadcast pretty clearly. A bunch of Brazilians yelling every time she'd throw a kick, like, what are you doing? Like, I don't speak Portuguese. I apologize, but I assume they're saying something to that effect. So, like, some people, like Gaethje, for example, who we're both a huge fan of, takes away people's weapons with, like, leg kicks. That's a pretty obvious way. You're taking away people's weapons with your talent, with your skill. Like, there's not a lot of fighters like that in the entire UFC period. What does that feel like to not only be able to do it with pain? Obviously, you broke her orbital bone. She hasn't been able to fly out of Fight Island yet because can't really have that swelling around the eye for 18 hours, I imagine. It's hard enough when your pants are becoming part of your mat burn, I'm sure. But, you know, like, what are your thoughts on you're just continuing to come into your own? This year has been the first of many, I think, truly savage years for you. I met you after your fight in Boston, and you had already been over it, and you were like, I'm just moving on. I just want to get better. Then there was a huge delay between COVID and just not getting a fight for whatever reason. You were, I think, on the longest delay of your fight career, amateur or professional, if I'm not mistaken, and which felt like years, and it was 10 months, which is a long time. And then you got back in there, and then you quickly. So, you know, what are your I know I kind of went all over the place there, so I apologize. But yeah, what are your thoughts on kind of this year and truly more and more becoming the savage that you've always been, but really coming into your own this year?
Yeah, I think I'm just trying to do damage from everywhere possible. So I want to make me a complete mixed martial artist. So I want girls to be scared of me on the feet, want them to be scared of my wrestling, scared of my jiu-jitsu, and scared of my ground and pound. And, you know, you shouldn't be feeling safe anywhere in the cage with me. So that's just the goal. We're trying to make me a complete mixed martial artist. And like you said, I feel like I'm really coming into that these last couple of years, and we're just evolving constantly now. And I feel like these next couple of years, you're going to be able to see the best Gillian Robertson possible.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, as if people aren't familiar, you've moved literally across the street from your coach. I mean, so it's just like, I mean, you are so dedicated to this game. I think that it's hilarious. The UFC still says you fight out of Coconut Creek, Florida. It's just like, one of these days, the UFC is going to watch, first of all, Dave's video on you that came out earlier this week, which I'm sure you hated to watch, but also you need to realize that how many fighters I've shown that to have said that's the complete truth. The people in the know who you are and what you have to offer. And it's just like, for some reason, the UFC continues to not realize the gold they have right in front of them. A 25-year-old stud who's marketable, who's fun inside the cage, who's even better, who's great outside the cage. And I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, the EA UFC updated their fighters today, and they added Jennifer Maia, they added Brock Lesnar, and but they're not adding you still. I don't know why. Like, and I get these are things that just don't matter, but they're all just these different ways that, for whatever reason, the UFC, you know, continues to ignore what they have right in front of them. And I think once they realize it, the odds makers have now realized that your last fight, you were a 3-1 favorite. So the underdog days of Gillian are done for now. But I think when the UFC realizes that, they're going to be kicking themselves for the last few years. But you're the UFC flyweight record holder. I mean, it's just like you're just beginning here. And do you have anybody in mind now that you're past Shevchenko? We kind of broke up there. But is there any fighter particular? I know it's the
I
1
guess
through 11.
not.
Besides that,
Yeah, not anyone specifically at this moment. I haven't really looked into it further. Obviously, the only reason I called out Shevchenko is because she turned me down. So that was just one that I feel like she's a great matchup for me, and I would love to get that one. And if it still happens, I'm cool with that. Like, I'm not opposed to fighting anyone below me either. Ideally, I would love someone 1 through 11. I know a lot of those girls are booked right now, but really, if I want to be champ one day, I have to be able to beat everyone in the division. So I'll take any fight.
yeah. And I mean, for those who don't know, you were back. You're celebrating by back training yesterday. After 20 days in Abu Dhabi, after a day of flying, you're training immediately. Your mat burns aren't even healed yet. I mean, that's really remarkable. So and not surprising at this point. It's been so consistent this year as I've gotten to watch you from a closer level that it's just like I'm like not getting surprised. It's just like when I watch these other fighters, I'm like, this isn't how these other fighters are doing it. You're just really doing it for you. And I really, really respect that. You realize what a gift it is to be able to fight for a living and do what you love for a living. And so I just really respect that. And to make time to come on with us again so quickly, twice in 1 week. I mean, that is just, we really appreciate it. So with you back, do you want to fight before the end of the year?
I'm just waiting for these mat burns to heal a little bit before I'm ready for anything else. But that's probably the worst injury of the fight. So give it a week or two, and I'll be ready for the call.
Yeah. I have a feeling you're going to be fighting very close to the end of the year, if not the very beginning of 2021. I can't, and I do have a few particular fighters who I want to see you in there with, and I think we're going to end up seeing those fights sooner rather than later. So what was the reunion like with Rob? We're now to important questions of this. The fighting is out of the way. So I just saw Chico after about 12 days away from him, and he, was making like noises I've never heard before. So was it a vocal greeting? Was it what was your meeting with Rob like after 3 weeks apart?
Oh, Rob.
Oh, Rob.
He's my baby.
We're getting the important bits here, Gillian. We're breaking up here, but we got Rob, we got he's my baby, and now we have you frozen. I'll take you off screen just because, as flattering of a phrase as this is, I'm gonna just do you the favor. I'm just wrapping it up here, Garrett, Mr. Chop Liver, and everybody who's also joining us. Hello, Richard, amongst everybody else. I see you guys. We are getting to the breakdown here soon.
Yes,
Gillian, just jump out, and jump back in. We'll finish up Savage Session number 4. This one's a little fractured, but don't worry. I mean, this happens. Dean, I'm going to send you some Wi-Fi as well. And anyways, like we are just looking forward to still breaking down a card tonight. I've been going.
Hey man, Richard's not lying over here though.
But look at my reflection from the computer because I have it with you too.
I don't know about all that. I don't know.
You know what? I'm just not sure. It must be this strain or something.
All right. All right.
But Gillian, you're still frozen, by the way. It's okay. But anyways, yeah. Is there anybody you want to see her against? Particularly in like top 11?
I really want to know her thoughts on Jessica Andrade coming in and absolutely wrecking havoc. I want to know about that, like what she thinks about that and how she thinks she would do against her, because I think that's the most compelling matchup in the division.
Oh my god, that I think both of these strawweights who've come to flyweight are the two at the top of my list for who I want to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Against. Like especially Calvillo, that is like my number one with a bullet fight I want to see so badly.
I agree.
Oh my God, it hurts. It hurts so badly. But all right, we got her back. All right, we got a video here. Hey, so I don't know how much you caught as you were breaking up there, but as you were breaking up, it was, oh, Rob, then you froze and like shifted positions, and then you went, he's my baby. So I think I got the answer for the most part, but it's been a good reunion with Rob. You're frozen again, I think. Yep. I see. I shouldn't have even talked, Garrett. I should have just said, Gillian, go ahead and talk. Oh my God. Yeah. Hey, there, Richard.
Our man,
Richard, Richard, you're not putting me on blast. It's just calling it like you see it. But yeah. So yeah, our man Dean Thomas, pray for his internet.
I mean, he's got to speed it up a little bit. Just
we got to go to like the silver package, Dean.
Yeah,
you got a stud prospect here in Gillian. And Jose was a draw away from being back into the UFC, and I'm looking forward to his fight coming up, I believe, in November. Maybe it's in December. I don't know, actually.
No, it's definitely very soon. He's got that flyweight Grand Prix tournament going on.
And it was a great first fight. He was fighting a guy with a super dangerous guard who I've got to match.
Sean Rock, right? Shorty, another guy with Shorty in his name.
It's another Shorty. Yeah, it's the battle of the Shorties. I know that much. But either way, I think that Andrade and Calvillo, those are fights that Gillian matches up so brilliantly against. I think this weekend we're seeing Lauren Murphy fight, and Lauren Murphy's another girl I would be happy to see. I mean, there's just so many different matchups in there. Yeah. And I mean, like Richard's saying right here, Murphy, Maya, Roxy, they're all gonna fall if they face. And I agree. There's a reason that Gillian is gonna always be our number one guest, both on Fight Bananas and on Inside the Distance. And she just exemplifies a lot of what we respect as fighters here. And perfect by. Oh, hey, good to see you. Welcome to the podcast. We haven't been going at all. I was just praying for Dean's internet with Garrett real quick. So the reunion with Rob was good. I assume how has it been being back home in Florida? And just slowly getting back into the routine of things.
I feel like naturally I'm a homebody, so it just feels good to be back home in my own bed. I just I'm not I don't really like to travel too much. I feel like it's more of a sacrifice I make for to do my job, but I love to be home, so I'm really excited to be back home.
Well, welcome home. Yeah, and that is like part of why the 3 weeks over there was a really impressive sacrifice for sure. I know you took away all your comforts, and it's got to be hard when everybody sees from the outside. It's like, but you're at the W Hotel, you're at Fight Island. How bad? You have all your food taken care of. You have all these, but it's like that. Sometimes, I haven't had this situation, but in different situations where everything on the surface looks like great, but you're experiencing this turmoil. You're the one who's experiencing the tears every day by yourself, isolated, but not really in the way you want to be isolated there. But I do think it paid dividends in the fight. I do think Polyana looked drained, flying for almost a day, right before the week of fights, and then having the quarantine and all that. And I mean, these are just all things you didn't have to, take into account there, but it was because of your sacrifices there. And so, props there. I'm glad that you can be home, and I'm looking forward to hopefully hearing a fight announcement here soon. And before we let you go, because it has been a 25-minute little, interview here with a few, turbulent moments. But Justin Gaethje is both of our favorite fighters here, but especially you. He coached you on The Ultimate Fighter, and just overall, I know that just a little peek behind the curtain, but you do use quotes of Justin Gaethje pretty much on a regular to keep you pretty focused, and they really represent who you are. What are your feelings on the main event here? I know you're leaning towards Gaethje, so I won't ask you to pick it, but just overall kind of your feelings on the main event, the intensity of these two competitors. Khabib coming off, this is going to be his first fight without his father, who he lost in COVID. So that's a level of intensity I'm not sure we've ever seen on Khabib also, but it also could really hold him back not having that key piece. What are your kind of thoughts on all the aspects? I know you're leaning Gaethje on that, so I won't ask you to pick again, but what are your kind of thoughts on the main event?
I've always thought that Gaethje would be the answer to Khabib. Like, stylistically, I feel like he's the perfect matchup. He's got great wrestling defense. Anytime he has been taken down, he gets right back up. So it's like he's never spent time on the ground, never spent time getting held down, and obviously he's a threat on the feet. He's going in there to kill or be killed. He's just throwing bombs with his hands. So I think it's obvious my pick's Gaethje.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm pretty sure that even though he's never fought anybody like Khabib, he spent like 17 seconds on the ground total when he has been taken down. He does get right back up, and Khabib has shown he's willing to do that game where he lets you get back up and take him back down and get back up. But I mean, I do think that there are a lot of aspects to take into account here, that it's going to be a very interesting fight. I think the two most intense guys in the division, and that is saying something when you have guys like Tony Ferguson also in there. It's going to be an early little fight night here. So it's starting at noon on Saturday. So, tune into Megan O'Leary's brunch recipes if you need any ideas there. I'm really looking forward to this card. There's a few flyweight fights on the card as well. We got a younger debuting Miranda Maverick who's coming off a retina surgery that I'm excited about seeing. So it'll be interesting to see her, but she's coming as a -365 favorite. So maybe have a little bit of dog. We'll see in a minute here. And then Lauren Murphy's fighting a newcomer after Cynthia Calvillo contracted COVID very, very late in the process. And fortunately unfortunately or fortunately is now available for a fight date. Just saying, Gillian. That I'm just saying that might be a fight that I think should be made. I really am, the last thing I do want to ask about, and then I'll let you go. Jessica Andrade, I was able to talk to you a little bit during that fight and after your fight, but what are your thoughts on her in the division? Obviously, with how she showed up, she's got to have a little bit of your attention too with how her power was able to translate. And we might have lost you again. I might have.
Yeah, I think it showed she obviously belongs.
Go. You're good.
I'm back. Okay. Mm-hmm. I think it obviously shows that she can belong in this division, that she has power to stand in this division. And I think a matchup with her and Calvillo would be great to see next.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that letting the strawweights who come up the flyweight figure out which one of them is the true flyweight would be great. And Gillian, I hope I didn't say anything to offend you there, because you just dropped on me. Well, I promise the next time she comes on, we'll wrap it up. Thank you again for everybody who's stuck with us here. And see you, Garrett. All right, we got a black swirl. I'm gonna remove you. All right. Hey, all right. Thank you for sticking with me through all this. I appreciate it. So a matchup between those two, I think, would be a great matchup also. And just overall, congratulations on the black belt. Also, just I got to talk to you pretty soon after you got that, and just wanted to send another congratulations there. This interview has gotten so segmented and chopped up that I apologize for kind of my extra awkwardness here at the end, but I think you're frozen again. I'm not sure.
Oh God.
But, yeah, and I got an oh God. I'm gonna. Yep, she's frozen again. We're trying here, man. We're gonna get a proper goodbye before you have you leave, Gillian. So just exit out, come back in. We're gonna get started.
I just want to talk about how perfectly I called at least one fight last week where I said Jessica Andrade was going to beat the crap out of Caitlin Chukagian. I said that she was going to go body, body, body. She went body, body, body because she can't hit her head. You know how hard it is for her to hit somebody who's 8 inches tall as the head? She's like, screw that. I'm just going to punch her to the body. And Chukagian has never been hit that hard to the solar plexus ever in her entire life. She's like, damn, that hurt. She like, because she never felt power. Like, that's the thing about Andrade. She's the only one in the division that has KO power. That's what's gonna make her. That's what's gonna put her over the top in that division, and I think that's what's gonna make her one of the scariest opponents for Valentina Shevchenko, because no one is gonna be able to go punch for punch with Valentina, but Jessica Andrade. Period. That's just how I see it. Gillian, she can come in there, she can grapple, but I'm not taking anything away from her striking, but it would be a harder time seeing her go toe to toe with Valentina, straight in the middle, just throw fucking down. You know what I mean? Well, Jessica Andrade will throw caution to the wind, and she'll go in there and she'll try her best. And if she gets knocked out, she gets knocked out. That's just how she goes in there and fights. She's a bully, and it would be a super interesting fight. I don't think she would, be able to beat Valentina. Don't get me wrong. But I think it will be definitely her toughest fight to date when that happens. Cause I think it's the inevitable. I think if it's Andrade versus Calvillo next for the title, for the title eliminator, Andrade is beating Calvillo all day. And
sorry, I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm just messaging with Gillian real quick. So this is no worries. Welcome back, Mr. Espinoza. You're not too late. We were just finishing up. I was finishing up visiting with Gillian from Fight Island, and now I'm trying to message her and multitask here. She's just having trouble even connecting. So, she's saying it won't even connect now. So we're just gonna sign her off for now. And just we'll get her back on here for a real savage session. Volume 4.
4.5.
4.5 exactly. Jamin, I didn't know you followed me on Twitter, but I'll check it, man. I'm sorry, I'm terrible at Twitter, so don't worry. Just drop your handle, and I'll make sure I follow it. Gillian, thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Gillian. Thank you so much.
Dean will pray for your internet, we'll look forward to having Gillian on when she's got a fight announcement or in a week or so, whatever I can do. I'm trying to figure out a way to make the Savage session more of a regularity. So
yes,
if you are fans out here of Gillian and I's dynamic and would like to see it more of a regular, I know Richard's a big fan. Ship it, Richard, right? But the Savage sessions, we're hoping to make that more of a regularity.
Absolutely. I love it.
It's just kind of a chance to maybe review the card a little bit in a more relaxed manner, but we'll talk about that off air. We're 35 minutes in. Thank you for sticking with me, Garrett, first of all, and everybody else out there. There we go. Jake Hilla MMA is Espinosa's handle. Go ahead and give that a follow. I will be doing the same right after this. I got you, Espinosa.
One quick thing. We have to touch base on this before we get into the breakdown. We have to go over the sensational performance by Brian Ortega against the Korean Zombie. Unfortunately, I lost a lot on Korean Zombie. I thought he was just going to run through Ortega. I didn't think he was going to come out fighting like he did. And most of the people didn't as well. We're talking, no one saw that coming. He's a changed fighter. He went in there. He did what he needed to do to get better. He got rid of, all the dead weight in his camp. He added new pieces to his camp, trained with better fighters, trained with better coaches. And he was absolutely flawless. So I need to ask you, Aaron, does he beat our man, Alexander Volkanovski?
I don't know. I think that one thing about Volkanovski is that, some of, I think, his takedown entries and whatnot could really play right into some of Ortega's skills. So being able to pin him up against the cage and really use the same game plan as he did against a Max Holloway, perhaps, I don't think that will be as effective against Brian Ortega. And if Brian Ortega has that level of striking now, it's hard to pick a lot of fighters against Brian Ortega, straight up. If both the offense and defense is there to that level. So I would pick, if it was happening tomorrow, I'd pick Ortega.
Interesting. Even though Ortega looked like a completely different man, arguably one of the best fighters in the division, again, like he did prior to the Max Holloway fight, I still would take Volkanovski just because the leg kicks are going to play a major dividend for him. He will keep going at it. Unlike Korean Zombie, he threw leg kicks, but Volkanovski is not going to stop throwing leg kicks. You're talking about a guy that threw 100 leg kicks, 100 leg kicks.
Can we check out our boy Jamin?
I ended up seeing Valiant Ortega late finish, putting $50 on Ortega round 4. Wow. What the crazy thing is,
good read, sir.
Korean Zombie didn't remember rounds 3, 4, and 5. He doesn't remember those rounds because of that nasty spinning back elbow.
Dude, yeah. Did you see Did you see the meme of like the Chihuahua with PTSD? Well, have you seen that meme before where it's like the Chihuahua looking scared and it shows like crashing helicopters and like explosions and it's having PTSD? It was just like Korean Zombie seeing spinning elbows. Dude, unreal, man. And then, very similar to like the Jorge Masvidal after the fight, they're showing Ortega warming up with that exact technique where he was like literally practicing it in the back right before going out.
Because they knew that, once, what's his name, Yair Rodriguez did it once, they feel like he's vulnerable to doing it. And he just did it at the right time, at the right moment, the right precision, caught him. And that changed the absolute landscape of the fight completely. Because Korean Zombie was winning that second round until that elbow. And I think it would have been a completely different fight if he didn't land that. It would have been a lot closer, but, hats off to him. That was a sensational performance, and I'm really looking forward to him against Volkanovski. I think that's the right fight to make, especially coming off such a great performance. I mean, you can't not give it to him, whether it's beats Yair Rodriguez or whoever, or whoever else, even Calvin Kattar. I know Calvin Kattar should be next in line after Brian Ortega, but Brian Ortega has to get that fight. He has to.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad because it just seems like Cater's a little bit cursed sometimes when it comes to the timing of when.
I know people are just shooting up. Exactly. I feel bad because he's just running through the division. The only one he didn't beat was the beat. And that was a super close fight, and it was 5 rounds. He would have knocked him out senseless.
It should have been 5 rounds. That's the thing. It was a main event. It was a main event, and then the guy who declined it being a 5-round fight ended up benefiting from it not being a 5-round fight. That's about as bad as it gets right there.
Yes, sir. But let's get right into it.
I know right into it. 40 minutes. By the way, just at the top here, Icon fight card number 2 happening at 10 p.m. here on Fight Pass. So we are going to have this be about an hour and 18-minute breakdown. So, I mean, there's certain fights that we don't need to hear that much of a breakdown on, and we're going to maybe pass through them a little bit quicker than usual here. So join with us on the ride here, and let's get started, baby.
Yeah. To it. All right. First fight up on the preliminary card. We have a fight in the lightweight division between Joel Alvarez and Alexander Yakovlev. Right now, Alvarez is a -160 favorite. And the comeback on Yakovlev is a +140 underdog. Who do you got?
Oh boy. This is one of the ones I've gone back and forth on quite a bit. Joel Alvarez, I was, as you remember, but I'll just remind anybody who doesn't remember, I was all over him against Joe Duffy. I believe we disagreed on that fight.
Probably. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Right. I just couldn't pick Joel Alvarez, but good take. I like it.
Yeah, but I got it. But the key when you fall in love with your dog is if they become that darling favorite too quickly. And all of a sudden, the odds makers way overcorrected and made Joel Alvarez yesterday was a -200 favorite.
I know, crazy, right? Yeah, that was just insanity. I'm like, what?
And so, yeah. So at that price, I was like, all right, Yakovlev. Now it's a little more accurate, but I mean, you stumbled there at the beginning for a reason when you first said welterweight, then said lightweight. Yakovlev is an enormous lightweight.
Yeah, he is.
Enormous. And I get it. He lost the decision to Roosevelt Roberts, which now that a loss to Roosevelt Roberts looks worse and worse by the second with how we've seen Roosevelt Roberts go. But I think that Joel Alvarez, he's a very large, lengthy lightweight, but so is Yakovlev here. And Alvarez doesn't quite have the striking, I think, of even a Roosevelt Roberts. And so then what you're asking me, I think, to really believe with regards to Alvarez is he's able to do something that let me just get the list of names. Kamaru Usman wasn't able to do. Damian Maia wasn't able to do. And I don't need to say the rest because they won't be as good. But there's other guys who I frankly think are as good or better than Alvarez. We're not able to put away Yakovlev. Zach Cummings, yes, he was able to put him away with an arm lock. But, I mean, I just think that now we may be seeing kind of two grapplers who end up keeping it on the feet. And I think between the two of them, who I could see having more of the top position in this fight is Yakovlev, actually. And I could see Alvarez maybe getting a little stuck on his back. And against, Belurado got him down, and he got him into a triangle and put him away with the ground and pound. But I think Yakovlev is a much stronger grappler. So I'm going to take Yakovlev. I'm going to take him by a decision here. It seems like I'm going to steal one of your reads here. And lately, the first fight's either been a first round finish or a decision. This is first round Alvarez or a decision for Yakovlev, in my opinion.
Sounds about right. I completely agree. 110%.
I can't touch it now.
Yeah. This is not a fight I'm going to bet on whatsoever. But if I'm going to side, I have to take the dog money on Yakovlev. I know he has not won as a dog, in his career, but that doesn't mean it can't happen. Alvarez has not shown me that he should ever be a favorite, at least not yet. Yakovlev still has at least decent grappling. Alvarez has gone 0 for 3 on his takedown. Defending takedowns. He's not defend a single takedown yet. That's why he's about 0%. So going in, Yakovlev is definitely going to take down Alvarez at one point or multiple points in this fight. So you're getting plus money on him. He's 1-1 at lightweight. Majority of his fights, like we've said, are at welterweight, 170 pounds. He's fought far better competition than Alvarez. I mean, his last two opponents are better than Alvarez. bar none. Those two guys would beat Alvarez. Roosevelt Roberts and I can't believe I forgot his name. And De Silva both would beat Alvarez. I don't care what anybody says; they would beat Alvarez. And Alvarez's only path to victory is catching him in a sub if he does take him down off his back, or outstriking him. But his striking hasn't looked all that amazing either. So
slow leg kicks that I feel even like Yakovlev, a plodding guy, could maybe even get out of the way of.
Yeah, but, I mean, I think this is a dogger pass situation. I'm not taking Joel Alvarez here. He hasn't shown me anything yet, and I think Yakovlev could take a decision just by grounding him out against the cage and on the mat.
Yeah, and even though he hasn't won as anything but a favorite, the fights he's been a favorite in have been -120, -140. So he could definitely be at that line by fight time.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I mean, like I said, the money's been coming in on Yakovlev. You talk about Alvarez was a -210 favorite, I think, at one point. So
yeah, that's crazy.
Which was asinine. I'm like, that's ridiculous. There's no way that Alvarez should be that massive a favorite. But
yeah, especially after he beat a retired Joe Duffy.
I know. He retired literally seconds after that.
No, dude. He retired before that fight. Homie, he retired before that fight. He shot in on double and got guillotined from full guard.
Oh, that was bad. Yeah, that was bad.
And did the slow tap. He wasn't going out. It was I don't want to be in here. He got up and he's like, well, I'm done. I'm all set.
He's like, I don't want to go to sleep.
Yeah. He was like, this just hurts. Like, this is hurting my neck. I'm done. Like, we're done. All right, let's move on. Yeah, let's move on.
Next up in the women's flyweight division, we have a fight between Miranda Maverick and Liana Jojua. Right now, Maverick is a -380 favorite, and the comeback on Jojua is a +315 underdog. And mind you, let me say this right now: Miranda Fear the Maverick. It's got to be arguably one of the best, female, names in the UFC. Yeah. Dope name. But anyways, what you got?
This is an interesting one because Miranda Maverick is definitely a very legit prospect. I got to see her over in Invicta. She's competed in some grappling tournaments that have been on, I think, Flow Grappling and a few other of those grappling channels. So she's really, really intense. She's very, very good. She was supposed to have her debut, I believe, 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah,
it was against Barella, which obviously we all love that. So it was in June 27th. We love Barella fights. We love betting on whoever Barella is fighting, of course.
Yes,
I think she's still an active UFC fighter. I don't know if she's been cut yet. But either way. The thing about Miranda Maverick that I'm not crazy about in this fight, first of all, the price we're getting, a -360 on a 23-year-old debuting fighter who is coming off a fight against Pearl Gonzalez, who I don't really rate that highly, if I'm being honest. Secondly, and just keep working through your headphone issues, but secondly, Miranda Maverick is coming off a pretty serious eye injury that she found out about the week before her fight, June 20th. And it was a detached retina. And that's an injury that can end careers. That's an injury that definitely can affect things. And this is going to be her first time getting seriously hit, seriously grappled, and contacted with that kind of injury. It happened in June 20th. Where 4 months later, everywhere I've looked says 6 to 8 months recovery. So maybe it wasn't that bad of an injury. Either way, these are things that just make it impossible for me to at all trust a -360 favorite here. So, I mean, I do believe that Jojua only really has one way to win, and that's an armbar, which is how she won in her last fight. Other than that, I don't really see too many avenues for Jojua. I think Maverick should win. She's a much better overall MMA fighter, and her grappling's legit. And so as long as that eye injury isn't a major factor, I don't see a reason she doesn't win, but -360 is crazy.
Yeah, I don't like the line. The line is terrible on her. I mean, granted, I think it was like in the 200s at one point, which is right where I really wanted to bet it. But
that's the top end of where it is.
Yeah, and that didn't last that long. but let me just get this mic, these headphones working. But
Yeah.
As I'm going, I've been watching Maverick for a very, very long time. I think since she was like 4-0 or 5-0 on the regional scene, and she's very, very impressive. Her grappling is top notch. I think she's will eventually be, a top 10, top 15 flyweight, definitely. Very, very soon for sure. But as far as betting wise, I do like Maverick to get the sub here. Plus 150. I think we're getting a decent line on her to get a sub. I think she's worlds better in the grappling, worlds better in the jiu-jitsu. I think she has no problem in getting her to the mat. She's fought decent competition over Invicta. Pearl Gonzalez, she took her down with ease, absolutely dominated her on the mat, had opportunities to get the sub. She didn't get it, unfortunately. But I think she gets a sub here. I don't think JoJo really is going to have anything for her. She's going to take her down with ease. I think she's going to get her back, and she's going to get the rear naked choke, and that's all she wrote. Plus 155. Even taking Maverick by decision at over plus 230 is the way to go. Either way, you're betting a prop here. You're not betting her straight up. You're betting her either by decision or by sub. She's not getting a knockout. I don't think she's going to get a Gillian Robertson possible ground and pound situation here. I think she's either getting the sub, or she's just gonna, grapple, have a grapple fest and just continue to control her and do whatever she wants on the feet or on the mat for 15 minutes. And the only You're gonna bet sub or decision on this fight, because that's the only ways I think she wins, and that's the only way you're gonna really get value on this fight.
Yeah, and the only reason I say buyer beware is just because she had a detached retina in June, and that just is, again, that's just my only holdup. It's the injury. So I don't know why Garrett's headphones don't work with my voice, but I
swear it only happens with you, because like I was on with Dave just yesterday and you work flawlessly. It's only with you. Anybody else, we're totally fine. But
yeah,
I'm gonna try to get it going. But
yeah, you're finding a way to tell me it's my fault. It's been a try between Casey O'Neill's internet in Lake Tahoe, Gillian's internet at Dean's house, and now Garrett's headphones with me. I just feel like I'm a little cursed. Richard, I'm with you. If I was betting, I would be betting Maverick by finish. I just have to see the retina hold up first. And so Garrett keeps giving me the go sign. I'm going to keep going. We're going to move on to the next fight here. And this fight is in the 205 division, and it is between Smiling Sam Alvey and Da-Un Young. Smiling Sam Alvey still hanging around. 33-14 now on hold on, I don't need my second hand yet. He's on a 1, 2, 3, 4 fight losing streak. He did look pretty good in his last fight against Ryan Spann, some arguing that he won it, but lack of activity and speed not playing in Sam Alvey's favor. Garrett, I moved on to.
Yeah, no, I heard the whole thing, but yeah. Let's keep going.
Yeah, so far doing okay though on a little breakdown here. So yeah, brings us over to Da-Un Young, who I remember landing an absolutely perfect cross against Mike Rodriguez at the beginning of that fight to put him away, and then he kind of struggled a little bit compared to a lot of people with Ibragimov, but he still, fought him pretty soundly and put him away in the third round. And also, I believe that was Ibragimov's UFC debut. So that's when he was at his most confident as an MMA fighter. He was still undefeated, had beat a lot of good guys on the regional. So this is pre-Ibragimov becoming absolute garbage trash to me. So I know that he did become, but I do believe he's one of these fighters who was better in his debut than he was in his exit, Ibragimov. So that's just a little something to take into account. But I see a lot of people pulling on Sam Alvey here. I am not one of them. I get he fought a close fight against Ryan Spann, but that's it. He fought a close fight against Ryan Spann. He showed he has a lack of mobility. He has a lack of volume. He has a lack of just overall danger at this point as an MMA fighter. And I mean, I just think that he's taken another, pretty tough fight here. And I just think that Dawoon Young has good boxing. He's got a good overall game here. And I think that he's going to, be able to take this one. I think most likely he gets a finish. I don't see this going to a decision, but could be a decision if Sam is able to survive. But I think that I just can't really get out of my head how, Sam Alvey looked in both especially in the Lil Nog fight. The way he got put away in that fight is just something that, and then immediately got put away by Jim Crute in the next fight pretty brutally. I get it with Abreu and Spann, he survived the decisions, but that's really about as good as he did. So do you see Sam as this dog that I'm seeing a lot of the Twitterverse seem to?
Yeah, no, I definitely can't pull the trigger on Sam Alvey. Unfortunately, I mean, Dawoon Young is arguably one of the biggest Asians I've ever seen other than Yao Ming. That dude is freaking massive, and he's jacked. The dude is jacked, straight up. And he's actually bigger than Sam Alvey here. He's faster. He's more athletic. He's got more power. Sam Alvey doesn't throw a ton of combinations. He's super low combination, counter puncher. He pretty much has just a puncher's chance, but he hasn't. Mind you, guys, he has not knocked out anybody since 2016. He's had 11 fights since then. So how the hell is he winning this fight? He doesn't have a ton of volume. He doesn't wrestle, and he doesn't knock people out. How is he winning?
Yeah. Where are the odds at? What's the line currently at?
Minus 330. So I mean, he's a massive favorite, and for a good reason.
Yeah, I mean, this to me, if we're talking between Maverick and Young, I prefer this spot with Young. Just
to be honest, if we're going 300s, I'd rather take Maverick because I just know that JoJo really can't win at all, and she just faced someone extremely bad in her last fight. Whereas I know Alvey is on the tail end of his career, but at any given time he can get a knockout. He is UFC caliber. He has fought, high level caliber fighters, whereas JoJo has not fought anybody good. And she's lost to bad competition on top of it. So, but either way, both of them I think should win. Maybe you could put a little two-teamer together and cut that juice down a little bit. But
fair enough.
Yeah, unfortunately, I wouldn't really straight bet either one of these two. But yeah, let's move on to the welterweight division, right? Yeah, the welterweight division. Between Alex Oliveira and Shavkat Rakhmonov. Right now, Rakhmonov is a minus 115 favorite, and the comeback on Oliveira is a minus 105. So it's pretty much a pick 'em. What do you got?
Yeah, I think that's fair odds. To be honest with you, I think this is about a pick 'em. I know that there's a lot of money coming in on Rakhmonov as a dog. And I think for decently good reason. It's just tough because you look at the guys who Oliveira loses to and who he beats, and I feel like Rakhmonov is literally right in the middle of those guys, and so it's a pick 'em. I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say. I just don't know how good Rakhmonov is when he's not the hammer. For one, we've seen that one moment if you've watched his kind of highlights where he gets dropped with the right hand and then ends up recovering very quickly and getting the finish. But besides that, I mean, there's just a lot of positions that I think Oliveira can avoid being in, but that may not be enough to win the fight also. And we know Oliveira after the first round has a significant drop off. We know he's lost to guys like Nicholas Dalby and others, and I do rank Rakhmonov higher than those. So, I think it is similar to kind of the first, similar with, Oliveira where to the first fight where he kind of has a first round finish, or I think that this could
round one or bust.
Yeah, and so this is, I think, a good live betting scenario for Rachmanov if you really trust that read, because he could lose the first round, or the odds could stay pretty close with a close first round. So I would say live bet Rachmanov, or if you believe in the Alvi first round, bet on Alvi round one, but not Alvi, Alvaro round one.
Oliver, yeah.
But yeah.
I'm pretty much in the same boat. I think Oliveira must win in round one, or his chances of winning decrease rapidly. Rachmanov has pretty good striking. He's got good cardio. He can go 3 rounds. He's finished all 12 opponents, if I'm not mistaken. So he's got finishing abilities. I know he hasn't fought the best of competition, but while not fighting the best competition, you want to see him finish, and that's what he does. So at least he's finishing the competition that's put in front of him. He's not going to a decision. He's not going to split decisions with bad competition on the regional scene. He is a decent prospect coming into the UFC. He's been booked numerous times. Fights have fallen through. So they've been actively trying to get him fights. So they know what they have in him, and they think he's a decent prospect. Oliveira, granted, he's been good in his career. He's fought, the best of the best, but he's on the tail end of his career. He really hasn't beaten the best in his last 2. He lost to some bad competition like Nicholas Dalby over time as well. And we're just seeing time and time again that he comes in, fires everything he's got in the first round, even tries to grapple, and that's really what does him in normally. And then his just cardio really decreases after that. I have to take Rachmanov here, -115. I think we're getting a good line. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get him when he was dog money, which is when I should have bet him. That's why doing tape study early in the week really helped out. Fortunately, I wasn't able to get to it, but I'm taking Rachmanov here. I think -115 is still a decent line.
Okay, and you know what? I think that I will also take Rachmanov. I wish I could have caught it on the better line, but I think Rachmanov inside the distance is still the way to go.
I think so. I think he gets another win inside the distance. It's gonna be a good fight. Don't get me wrong. It's gonna be action packed fight. I'm very looking forward to it.
Yep.
All right. Next up, we have a fight in a catch weight of 140 pounds between Casey Kenny and Nathaniel Wood. This is
by the way, just sorry to cut you off, Richard. I would say, if I'm saying, I would say submission for Rachmanov. If I was picking, but it's why I would just go inside the distance because
Richard's also asking the outcome of the Alvi fight. We have Daeun Young possibly by like KO.
Yeah, I have Daeun Young by KO myself. So and I think maybe the under 1.5 on Daeun Young could be an interesting play depending on the price on that. But yeah, on to the next one. We are on to what is this, the second to last fight in the prelims?
Yes, second last fight in the prelims at a catch weight of 140 pounds between Casey Kenny and Nathaniel Wood, which is a barn burner of a fight and a fight that should be on the main card. But with that said, right now Kenny is a -170 favorite, and the comeback on Nathaniel Wood is a +150 underdog. Who do you got?
This is definitely the fight on the card I've been the most back and forth on. I think that it has the potential to be fight of the night. I think it's a really, really good matchup, and I think them having an extra 5 pounds is an advantage for both fighters because I think it's going to be allowing them to go completely full clip in this one. I really liked a lot of what I saw Nathaniel Wood in his last fight. I get it was against a short notice opponent, but for one, he was able to really put together 3 really more complete rounds. He was able to show his pacing a little bit better, his overall. I just think his overall fight IQ was showing a little stronger. His striking defense, which couldn't have gotten any worse, had improved, which I was glad to see. And I'm banking on seeing that in this fight as well. I think that on the feet, Wood is just going to be a little bit quicker to the punch and a little bit better. And then it's going to result in Kenny initiating the grappling first. And I think that Wood will be able to keep the fight standing. And I think Wood's going to be strong enough in the grappling as well. So I'm going to take Wood, and I'm going to take him for a second straight decision. I think this is one where Kenny is really tough to put away, and I think it could be a split. It's going to be close.
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of people all over Kenny. And I do think he wins, but this is a fight I just want to watch. This is a fight I want to bet on, especially at Kenny at minus 170. I don't like the line. People were betting him at minus 190, almost minus 200, and I don't think that was the right line at all. I think it should be, minus 130, minus 140, a slight favorite in a slight dog in Nathaniel Wood. It's going to be a super close fight. Both are high octane offensive powerhouses as far as their striking goes. They throw a ton of strikes. They both have really good grappling. So it's really going to be a stalemate literally everywhere this fight goes. It really comes down to who's got the better gas tank. And from what we've seen from Casey Kenny against, some really high-level grapplers like Ray Borg and Manny Bermudez and Murat Davashvili, he still had gas to go in that, in the later portions of the second and third round, even when he's having to defend multiple takedown attempts. If Casey Kenny's going for multiple takedown attempts, I don't know if Wood is going to be able to really, go the full 15 minutes without gassing out towards the end of the round. And then that's where I think Kenny could possibly take over, and just squeak out, a decent decision, 29-28, just by having that extra, cardio, having that extra volume in his punches. But it's going to be a close fight. But I'm taking Casey Kenny here, minus 170.
Okay. Well, that's our third disagreement.
I don't know. I feel like we've been
our second.
No,
or is that our first?
I don't think it's our first. It's our first.
You were on Yakovlev as well.
Yeah, I was on Yakovlev as well.
Oh, okay, I think I just in my head decided we were going to disagree on that, and then I almost picked Oliveira, but I am going Rachmanov. Okay, so Wood and Kenny. I'm glad we're on opposite sides for this one. I think this is one where it makes sense.
This is the type of fight where literally it could go either way, which is why I'm not suggesting betting on it. But I do think Kenny, to me personally, I think Kenny is the right side in this fight. All right, next up in the heavyweight division, this is the first fight. This is the prelim main event, the preliminary main event in the heavyweight division between Stefan Struve and Tai Tuivasa. Right now, it's a dead pick'em. One minus 110 across the board. Who do you got?
It's something that most people need to learn about me very, very quickly. And if they're going to know me as an MMA fan, I love Stefan Struve. It is not a good thing to love Stefan Struve. It's painful. It hurts. The Ben Rothwell fight, I was there live for that. You have no idea how much it saw me to lose my money because Stefan Struve was too fucking tough to just stay the fuck down after 10 ball kicks in a row. And he decided to get up and leave his chin out there. I was 10 rows from the cage. I saw my baby giraffe die again. He's back. And after that fight, I said, no more. No more. There was a Rodrigo de Lima fight where I was like, oh, we're back. He can be reliable. I was like, no more. This guy beat Stipe Miocic once. You know that? Like, do you know how many times I've had to tell people that and how much money that fucking win has cost me? Anyways, I'm on Struve here. I am betting Struve here. I've already told you, and this may spoil a little bit, but I've got a Twin Towers parlay already lined up for sure. That is one of my parlays I am very confident in. And Struve is going to get a submission finish in round number 2. Let's go, Skyscraper.
I want absolutely nothing to do with this fight. This is a shit show of a fight all over it. Put it this way. Either Tai Tuivasa knocks Struve completely unconscious, or Struve gets a takedown and gets a sub. Literally, that's the way it's gonna happen.
Yes, that's the way. Yeah,
so
let's not even talk about him. Let's not even talk about him getting his ass punched.
Well,
that's the breakdown. That's the breakdown. We don't need to. Please, we don't need to keep that.
I'm not even gonna go even in depth with these two. All I'm gonna say is take the under 1.5 rounds at plus 110. There's no reason not to.
It's crazy that's plus money. I'm just so confused.
Take that.
I'm so confused.
That's the only play you should have in this fight is Stefan Struve, Tai Tuivasa under 1.5 rounds. I don't care if it hits or not. That's the only play you should be making on this fight because it's plus money. It should be done in the first round, I would think. Either way, whichever side, doesn't matter. But anyways, first fight on the main card, which is crazy that's the first fight, is a fight at 205 pounds between Magomed Ankalaev and Ian Cutelaba. Right?
Next breakdown.
Why?
We've broken this fight down 3 times.
At least 3 or 4 times, right?
Have you changed to Cutelaba?
No.
Okay, let's move on. Ankalaev by decision or finish?
Finish. Let's go.
Okay.
Because if you guys go back, we don't even go in depth.
I haven't changed it once here. Yeah. I'm not all of a sudden thinking this time. I don't care who's had COVID, who hasn't. I'm not thinking Kutalaba's having this revolutionary training camp where he decides he's gonna have I just picked Stefan Struve, so me talking fight IQ is blasphemous right now, but I don't think Cutelava's going to have this massive fight IQ all of a sudden. We can finally move on from Ankalaev, Cutelava 4.
We got Ankalaev here. We really don't need to break it down. We had Ankalaev the first fight, and we have Ankalaev the second fight, and the third fight, and the fourth fight, and the fifth fight. So
I'm not gonna pick him until the 9th or 10th fight where I have to pick Cutelaba just because of the numbers. But until he wins 9 straight, I'm not picking him.
Yep. All right, let's move on. In the women's flyweight division, we have a fight between Lauren Murphy and short notice replacement Lilia Shakarova. Right now, Murphy is a minus 210 favorite, and the comeback on Shakarova is a plus 175 underdog. Who do you got?
Yo, can I just say that the prelims are better than the main card besides the top 2?
Oh, they definitely are.
Not even close.
Other than, they got 4 good fights on the main card.
Yeah, but the prelims is pretty much all good fights. I'm not honestly, I guess the opener, but honestly, I think that's one of the best prelims on a pay-per-view in a while I've seen. Yeah, which is great. Which I love seeing, especially since it will be noon. So, I hate to kind of brush over another breakdown here, but Lilia Sharikova, is that how you say her name?
I'm going with
Shakriova. I think that, I just think I don't understand why anybody's betting her. I don't think many people are. This is Lauren Murphy all day. Lauren Murphy should get a finish. And,
crazy stat here. There's not a single women's MMA fighter that Murphy has faced that landed 40% of their 40% of their distance strikes against Murphy. There's not a single one. Every one of them have landed less than 40% of their strikes at distance. We're talking everybody. Every single fighter she's faced they've landed less than 40%. That's crazy. Her striking is a lot better than people are giving her credit for, and I think she should absolutely run away with this fight.
She looks in phenomenal shape.
She does.
She looks absolutely ready. She was preparing for Cynthia Calvillo, so that her grappling is going to be sharp. Her stand-up has stayed sharp here. So I think honestly, I don't see a submission finish. I see a KO finish for Murphy. If I'm being honest here, it's hard for me to pick the submission, but good luck, Jamin, with that. It's plus 2,000. I've never hated on a little, I never hate on a 4-digit shot, but
Anything
I think she is finishing her opponent here. You know, even though her opponent's never been finished, but her opponent's never really faced anybody. Her last two fights was against a 2-2 total or 3-2 total in her record. So this is just such a shot up, and they just needed somebody over in Eastern, Western Europe who could make the trip over there, and she could. Lauren Murphy takes us all day.
Shakarova was never on their radar. Let's be blatantly clear here. You're talking about Shakarova.
Dude, let's save the radar talk for the next fight.
All right, but yeah,
boy, talk about not being on a radar. Like the next fight, Phil Hawes and
James.
Let's just go ahead. Yeah, but I do think Lilia gets finished either way.
Yeah, I'm all over Murphy here. Minus 210, minus 200. The line's going down. I'm not sure why, but I think that's a great line. I think she should be minus 350, minus 400. I think she should be where Maverick is right now because of the fact that Murphy's actually been in the UFC. She's fought good competition. She's beaten good competition. There's no reason why she shouldn't be around where Maverick is right now. So minus 200 is a great line. It really is.
That should be in most parlays you do.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Next up in the middleweight division, we have a fight between Phil Hawes and Jacob Malkoun. Right now, Phil Hawes is a minus 240 favorite, and the comeback on Malkoun is a plus 200 underdog. Who do you got?
Yo, we were talking about radars. Jacob Malkoun. Did they find this guy from? Oh, that's right. He's Robert Whittaker's training partner. And Robert Whittaker's on the card, and he's 4-0.
5-0.
He looked 5. I see 4-0.
Really? I thought it was 5-0. Oh, it's 4-0.
Yeah.
Even worse, 4-0. Anyways, go on.
Yeah, you were giving him credit for 20% more of a career. Think about how much one fight makes a difference.
It does. It makes a lot.
Makes a huge difference. I mean, and he's, one thing I can say he has over his opponent is he's fought out of the first round and won. Phil Hawes has never gone out of the first round and won. He's won all his fights in the first round, though. So that's 8 fights in the first round. But it's the Menafield issue here. And Phil Hawes' price, can you give me that line?
Minus 240.
I hate it.
Me too.
I hate it. Even against a guy like Jacob Malkoun. And first of all, it's only a minus 240 against a 4-0 no-name jobber in Jacob Malkoun. That tells you something. This should be 500 minus 500 or more. But Phil Hawes has never shown he can win out of the first round. And if it goes out of the first round, which most fights do, then what happens? He loses.
This is what you do then. You bet Hawes by KO plus 100. Okay. If he gets out of the first round, you then live bet Jacob Malkoun.
Yeah. I'm fine with that.
I think that's your best.
Especially depending on how it's going. If he's hanging on by a brim at the end of the first round, I do believe Hawes can come on in the second round and land shots to put away a guy. But it's that. I mean, that is just troubling. In 10 fights, anytime you leave the first round, you're losing and you're getting put away. Also, so
yeah. But he also fought Julian Marquez, who's in the UFC and should be in the UFC, and then Lewis Taylor, who was a PFL champion in 2015. So those are much higher level.
Right, and then he was putting away guys in the first round. It's just that I think that I don't know enough about Malkoun to fully be like Hawes is gonna nail, but he should. Hawes should put him away.
Yeah, minus 240. I will never bet Phil Hawes at that price.
Thank you.
I didn't bet him on the Contender Series either at his insane price.
You know what this reminds me of is Bevan Lewis came in as a minus 350 favorite also.
Yeah.
And that's yet to prove why he ever was a minus 350 favorite. He was an athletic guy who trained with John Jones. What is Phil Hawes?
I don't know.
An athletic guy who trained with John Jones. It's the same thing.
Really?
Pretty sure.
Well, now I know now.
Phil Davis. was it Phil Davis or John Jones? One of the two Phil Hawes trained with, because that's what they were mentioning when he was on the Contender Series the first time.
I just know that he trains down here at Sanford MMA. But
yeah, which is a good camp, but
it is.
Yeah,
but
Phil Hawes should win this fight.
Yeah, he should. Don't take the -240. If you want to take Phil Hawes, you have to take it by KO because that's arguably the only way he's winning this fight. So.
Yep.
All right. Next up in the heavyweight division, we have a fight between Alexander Volkov and Walt Harris. Right now, Volkov's a -175 favorite in the comeback on Harris, the +155 underdog. Who do you got?
I mean, I already told you, I got the Twin Tower parlay. So Volkov is the second piece of that. Walt Harris looks like he's in better shape.
A lot better shape, yes.
So that is definitely, he's further away from a life-altering tragedy and losing was it a stepdaughter?
Yeah, it was
stepdaughter. Yeah. Either way, it doesn't matter. Like losing a daughter, I'll just say that. I shouldn't have even prefaced it. But and I do think that I do expect him to be in better condition than 2 minutes. I expect him to be in condition for about 4.5 minutes. So Volkov has to last almost a round of danger before he, really can start to feel safer in this fight. But I think Volkov is just a superior striker. He's going to be able to establish the distance, use his movement. He moves surprisingly well for a big guy who's a similar size to Struve. He moves 10 times better than Struve. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. And so I think the movement and the distance control Volkov is able to display, the volume, I think that all leads to Volkov getting a finish at some point in the second or third round against Walt Harris.
Yeah, I gotta take Volkov here. I think he should do what he does normally to heavyweight powerhouse strikers. Is just use his length, use his reach, stay on the outside, use his teep kicks, use his head kicks, use his jab cross, everything. I mean, I think it's a easy fight for him. He doesn't have to defend takedowns. It's just going to be him striking at range, which is where he does his best work. You look at Walt Harris. Who has he knocked out? Alexei Oleinik, Sergey Spivak, Daniel Spitz is the last three guys he's knocked out in the last 2 years. Okay, I'm sorry, Mark Godbeer too, but that was an illegal kick. But I mean, literally no one even remotely close to the top 15 at the heavyweight division has he knocked out. Okay, Alexei Oleinik, I'm sorry, is like top 10, but that dude, you know how Alexei fights. He's a grappler. Normally, it's either he gets knocked out or he submits you. That's just how he fights. But yeah. I mean, then after that, Cyril Asker, Chase Sherman, Cody East, literally nobody on the remotely same stratosphere as far as striking goes as Volkov. Yeah. I mean, I'm taking Volkov here all day. He should be able to outstrike him at range fairly easily. He just needs to avoid the power punch. He did it against Lewis for 14 minutes and 50 seconds. Unfortunately,
wasn't that a 5-round fight?
I thought that was only.
I'll check it. But I thought, wasn't that a main event?
No, I'm pretty sure it was. No, the main event was him and.
It was the co-main event. My bad. Yeah. So it was 14. It was 14 minutes. Yeah. My bad.
Yeah. And then he came back, went against Greg Hardy, did what he does, outstrikes his opponents at range. Unfortunately, he couldn't do that at Curtis Blades because Curtis Blades broke the single, heavyweight record for the most takedowns in a single fight.
And they almost finished him in the 5th.
And yeah, because he didn't get finished.
That's the 5th round I was thinking of.
Yeah. He didn't get finished in that fight. So yeah, I gotta go Volkov all day here. -175, I think, is a great line. I know Harris is going to be determined. He's going to be a much better shape. I think he's going to have definitely a lot more cardio than his last fight. But I think he literally has to win by knockout. Volkov's going to throw more. He's going to land more. He's going to be more precise. I got to go Volkov here. I think it's a pretty confident pick as well.
Yeah. I feel very confident in this pick as well. I think Volkov and Murphy, I feel very good about both those with Dong Young. And so, I think that's a very safe add Maverick in there, and you should have a pretty decent parlay plus money for sure.
Yeah, I think it's I think it's going to be good. But yeah, next up in our co-main event of the evening, this will be a great one. At 185 pounds in a complete pick'em fight between Jared Cannonier and Robert Whitaker. Who do you got?
First of all, I got bulk up by KO for Richard, who's asking, I think. I believe we both have a KO here, but maybe you think sub?
I don't know. I kind of like a decision because it's just plus 230.
Okay.
I think
Okay,
it's.
I have trouble believing Harris can get it to a decision even with his new shape.
That's fine. We'll see.
But yeah, to this fight here.
I think minus 175 is good enough for me to take and not have to take him to win by a certain method.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. So this fight here, Whitaker and Cannonier, this is a really, really great fight. I mean, any fight with Cannonier is super fun. At middleweight, I was completely wrong against Hermanson. I thought Hermanson was really gonna be able to get in there and dominate with that grappling, and I just was like, I'm not sure what Cannonier does in this fight to get it to where he needs to be able to hurt Hermanson, and I was wrong. He hurt him bad and put him away. Robert Whitaker, maybe the most underrated guy in the UFC.
I think so. He's the most underappreciated. I would think.
Yeah, this is crazy. Like, I'm really shocked at this line. I'm gonna have to disagree with my boy, Mr. Espinoza here, because I got Robert Whitaker in this matchup. I think Robert Whitaker it showed me a lot in the Darren Till fight, coming back from that elbow early on that would have put away the majority of the division. He recovered. So my questions about some of his durability going into the Darren Till fight, I think were answered, especially how he moved on from that fight. Besides Israel Adesanya, no one's beat this guy in a long, long time, like a really long time. And people just seem to have forgotten the name Robert Whitaker. And I think after this, he's gonna make Cannonier look like 205 Cannonier. He's gonna make him, I think, look a little slower with his volume, and I think he's gonna be able to avoid those leg kicks and mix up his overall game and show he's the better MMA fighter. I got Robert Whitaker. I think he wins a decision here, but I think it's a fairly dominant decision. If I'm predicting, I don't think there's a finish here, and I think that plays for Robert Whitaker's advantage. So I got Whitaker by decision.
Yeah, I'm taking Whitaker as well. I can't hear he's got some next level power, but Whitaker is the better MMA fighter. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Throws more volume. He's got the better grappling wrestling background for sure. That's guaranteed. He's fought the much better competition over his time. As long as he could just avoid the power, Whitaker has this all day. If he mixes in the takedowns as well, keep him honest. Those kicks that he did against Darren Till, he used them very, very well to keep the distance. I thought he fought very, very well in that fight against Darren Till.
He fought beautiful.
And if you look at the fights where Whitaker has gotten knocked out, he's not gotten knocked out by anybody that's a power puncher. He's only been knocked out by precision strikers. You're talking Wonder Boy Thompson and Israel Adesanya.
Cannonier doesn't strike like those guys.
Exactly. So you're talking about he's fought guys like Yoel Romero, not once, but twice. He's fought guys like Derek Brunson as well. Guys are looking to land that one punch right on your chin, knockout power. And that's what Cannonier has. And if he doesn't land that, I don't know if he can win this fight, to be honest with you. And I've seen pictures of Cannonier. Man, he's looking slim. This is the slimmest I've ever seen him, before a fight. Don't know if that's a good or bad thing coming into it. I don't know what his strength and conditioning was coming into this fight, but I just think Whitaker is going to state claim that he should fight for the belt again. If he comes in with a dominant performance, he's next in line for a chance at Israel Adesanya, which I know Izzy might win, but it's definitely going to be a completely different fight if they lock in the cage again.
Yeah, I agree. I'm very, very surprised that that it's a pick 'em. I think Whitaker should be a favorite.
Whitaker was a dog for most of the week as well, and I'm upset I couldn't get him at dog money. I'm hoping some late money comes in on Cannonier so I can get at least plus 100, plus 110, and it might happen because I know a lot of people love that knockout power, especially all three of his last wins have come by knockout. So we'll see.
Yep, but we'll see.
We're finally at the main event, the fight that we've been waiting to talk about, the fight that everybody's been waiting for. I'm super excited to break this down. Let's get right down to it. All right, next up in the main event of the evening for the lightweight championship of the world, the GOAT. Whoever wins this is the absolute GOAT at 155 pounds, point blank bar, absolute none. All right. We have Khabib Nurmagomedov coming in as a minus 310 favorite, and the comeback on Justin the highlight reel Gaethje as a plus 255 underdog. Who we got?
This is a great fight. It's the right matchup. It's well deserved. I've wanted to see Tony Ferguson versus Khabib for as long as I know. I had tickets to it at the Barclays Center. Before it got canceled, I was all set to see it. I'm thrilled to be seeing this fight. This is a great fight. I think you have the two most intense guys in the division. And this is just, I think, going to be a really, really tough fight, but I think I can't pick against Khabib. I just cannot pick against it until it happens at this point. So if Gaethje's able to fight this same fight, land to the body, land to the legs, there's a real chance he's able to not only he can win this in 5 rounds. I do believe Gaethje has a way to win a decision. I don't think this is a finisher butts for Gaethje at all. I like Gaethje's wrestling ability, the get-up ability. And Khabib's shown in a lot of fights he's willing to take it down and allow his opponent to get up. But I'm not sure if that will be the right game plan here against Gaethje. And if Gaethje's able to stuff those, then we get into a situation we've seen in a few fights with Khabib. And it's happened before, and I do think that Gaethje has the wherewithal and skills to do it here. I'm not betting on Khabib, but I'm picking Khabib. So I'm going to take Khabib to Khabib this fight. And, I do think that I don't see a finish for either guy, though. I think this goes to a decision.
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
So
but
that's
with
my
that said, I've been waiting for this fight to happen. I've been saying for the longest time that Justin Gaethje is the absolute nightmare stylistic matchup for Khabib. I've been saying this for a while now. You're talking about Gaethje is bar none the absolute best wrestler that Khabib is going to face in his entire career. The two best wrestlers that Khabib faced in his time were Tebow early in his career.
Tebow, yep. Where he didn't land a takedown against.
0-13, and then Al Iaquinta was his next, where he didn't look as dominant as majority of the time he does. Towards the later portions of rounds 4 and 5 against the guy that took this fight on 24 hours notice. Al Iaquinta took the fight on 24 hours notice, and he didn't dominate like he did against Conor McGregor, like he did against Dustin Poirier, on guys that had a full fight camp. You're talking about Al Iaquinta is now ranked 10th, or might not even be ranked at all in the lightweight division. And he didn't have an easy time, and I don't see him having an easy time here. You see that Khabib is very bad with his entries in the middle of the octagon. You saw it in the first takedown attempt by Khabib against Conor. He wanted absolutely nothing to do with Conor on the feet, as most people don't. He was getting tagged, so he went in for pretty much like an ankle pick type of takedown, and then eventually Conor gave way. He got up and then he took him down. But that's not happening against Gaethje. That's absolutely not happening against Gaethje. Gaethje has great balance with his hips. He's got a great sprawl. His defensive wrestling has gotten him over 20 knockouts for a reason. He's never been held on the mat for more than 15 seconds in his entire career. He only taken down twice in his UFC career, got right back up instantaneously. He's just that good. And then if he's able to defend the takedowns early, that's bad. That's very, very bad for Khabib, because Khabib is definitely going to gas out like he normally does. He was gassing out in the Conor fight midway through the second round, just from grappling. But Conor wasn't really putting any force into defending them, so he didn't full blown gas out like he did against Al Iaquinta. This is going to happen here. And then that's when Gaethje is going to really take over in this fight. And what Gaethje is going to do well, he's going to take away that lead leg, which is everything of Khabib, because Khabib needs that lead leg to throw his jab. He needs that lead leg to throw his feint overhand right. He needs that lead leg to throw the feint uppercut that he does, lunging uppercut that he does. And he needs that lead leg to go and shoot in for takedowns. If he chews that up like I think he's going to, oh man, it's going to be dicey. Very, very dicey for Khabib. And you're talking about Gaethje throws 2.75 leg kicks per minute. Every 60 seconds, he's throwing almost 3 leg kicks. Guess what? Khabib only faces 3.25 takedowns in a single fight. 3.25 leg kicks in a single fight, period. So he's going to throw as many leg kicks as normally Khabib faces in one fight in just 1 minute. It's going to be interesting. I'm definitely all over Gaethje here. Plus 255. I think it's an absolute steal. It's not going to be a runaway fight for Gaethje. Obviously not. It's going to be an absolute war. It's going to be a banger. It's going to be arguably one of the best fights in UFC history. And there's also things that you don't know about Gaethje. He is the best striker at 155 pounds, bar none. It's not even close. He has a UFC lightweight. He's got the record holder for the best striking accuracy at 155 pounds. And he throws the most volume per minute at 155 pounds in UFC history. And he lands the most volume per minute in UFC lightweight history as well. So he's got the D1 wrestling collegiate All-American background. And then he's got the lethal power and striking and accuracy in his punches and his kicks. It's gonna be a hell of a fight. I can't wait. I'm taking Gaethje plus 255. I think that's the only way you should bet this. I don't think you could take Khabib at minus 310. I think that's an absurd line. Yeah, this is him all day. I don't see why Khabib is a bigger favorite than Usman was over Masvidal.
When you put it that way, that's a good point.
Yeah, there's no way. Usman should have been. Should have been the line minus 310, not minus 220. That's absurd. But yeah, I'm taking Gaethje here. I think he finally does it. I think he is the man to do it. I've been saying this for a while. I think he can do it. I think he's the worst stylistic matchup for Khabib Nurmagomedov, and I guess we're going to see. Saturday midday, not Saturday night, Saturday midday, and I'm super, super excited for this fight, and I absolutely can't wait. And I'm hoping Gaethje gets it done, because having Gaethje as a champion, imagine seeing Gaethje in a lightweight title fight every single time. It's fireworks in every single fight. There's no grappling involved. It's pure mayhem.
Mayhem. He's one of the fighters, fighters' favorite, and this is one of the aspects. I'm not sure the aspect this plays with Khabib's dad dying.
I don't know. He might, he might be super motivated because of it. You know what I mean? Or the opposite. We really don't know.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know, and I don't think Khabib does either. And kind of all the statements you brought up, they're all fact. So I can't really disagree with any of them. These are all reasons I'm not betting Khabib. These are reasons I'm still picking him.
Yeah,
I'm not betting him.
So, normally that's the safer play. You know, you're talking about a guy who's 28-0. He's beaten everybody pretty soundly. I think he's he's lost maybe one round in his entire, UFC career. So, I mean, it is the safe play. I'm not telling anybody to go bet hundreds of dollars on Gaethje, but I do think he wins. I really do.
Yeah, and I get it. Espinosa says it can't be good with Khabib's dad. There's no sense in predicting one way or another. With that, I think it affects every human being in a different way. That type of loss. So, I mean, it is one of the storylines with this I've particularly been paying attention to. I lost my dad at a young age, so not the same thing as Khabib, but I do pay attention to those types of situations a little bit more, and I maybe am being more optimistic, but I think it will play a motivating role for him and a focusing role. And I think we may see a different kind of level with him, which is scary. But either way, I can't wait for this main event. It's one of those I do not need to bet $1 on to enjoy. And yeah, just overall, this is a good card. I'm really excited about it. The prelims I think are very strong. There's a little lull at the beginning of the main card, in my opinion, although a lot of people are excited about Ankalaev and Kudalaba, but we'll see. You don't know until the fights happen. It's hard for me to say a greasy parlay here, but I'll say, it's like Yakovlev decision, Da-Un Young inside the distance.
Yakovlev decision. And then Da-Un Young inside the distance.
And then Struve Volkov inside the distance for both of those. What does that get me?
Okay, hold on. Struve. Hold on.
And I do inside the distance because on Bovada I cannot parlay with specific props.
Plus 8,211.
Let's give it a shot. Yeah, there you go. 8,000. So again, in case you do want to play this with me and you're a madman, again, actually, can I do Whitaker by decision instead of Yakovlev by decision? I know that will severely lower it, but that actually can happen a lot more likely than me gambling with Yakovlev in a 4-fight parlay. So same thing. So I want Whitaker decision. I want Volkov by inside the distance, Struve inside the distance, and Da-Un Young inside the distance.
Plus 5,021.
Give that a shot. Give that a shot. Struve is only winning inside the distance. Volkov, I can see the argument for both, but I do think he's got the power, and Harris getting in 15 minutes is still dicey no matter what shape he's in. Whitaker, I just don't see him putting away Cannonier. I think it can be, and yeah, that's plus 5,000. And Da-Un Young is, I think, going to I'm betting on him putting away Alvi. So
I like it. Like I said, guys, that's $10 to win $502.10.
Yeah. So yeah, and but yeah, just real quick, Gillian has been apologizing profusely through her Instagram messages. I am very, very upset with her. And yeah, but anyway, we'll have her on again soon.
Absolutely.
Whether it's for a reason or no reason. And so appreciate her again checking in. She was in between training sessions. She's literally training now again for the second time in the day.
She's crazy. She's a savage.
Yeah, she's aptly named. But yeah, thank you to Casey O'Neill as well for joining me earlier on that interview. The internet has not been my friend today. She had internet problems as well. So it's been like I've had a couple dates where I've just had the woman staring at me blankly as I'm talking, and then she starts to stare more and I start to talk more, but people get to watch it too, and I even have a guy calling me out for being in love in the comments. So it's it really is just straight up like a date. So thanks a lot. But again, great fights. Maybe we'll do a little reaction after the fights, post fight, especially with it only being 5 or 6 p.m. So maybe we'll do that. We'll join on, talk about maybe a plus 5,012 win on a particular parlay. So enjoy the fights, Jamin, Richard, everybody else. Thank you for joining us through this whirlwind of an episode. Internet shit happens. We'll pray for Dean's internet. But yeah,
yes, sir.
Anything else before we take off here?
Before we take off, I gotta shout out our sponsors over here. Yeah, over here. See? Yeah. All right. Yeah, over there. All right. Yeah, guys, head over to manscaped.com and get the best male grooming products on the market to keep that junk feeling and smelling great. Guys, no nicks ever. Use promo code TFTA20 for 20% off your order and free shipping. And guys, head over to Just Blazed Clothing. They got the dopest gear out there, guys. Head over there. Use promo code TFA10 for 10% off your order. Before we go, man, Aaron, where can everyone find you?
Well, as Jamin and others know, you can find me at Aaron Jay Brooks on Twitter. I'll follow you back eventually. Besides there, you can find me on here every Thursday, 8 p.m. I'm looking to start to maybe get some more interviews going as well with some fighters. So Aaron, the Dog Talk is going to start to be a little more of a regular occurrence here, hopefully with a little better internet. But King Casey's interview is still worth checking out. And definitely check her out as she just got signed to the UFC. But yeah, that's about it.
Yes, sir. Guys, you know where to find me at Fight Analyst on Twitter and The Fight Analyst on Instagram and Facebook. And guys, head over to thefightanalyst.com and get my package today for this monumental pay-per-view on Saturday midday. Guys, get it in early because the fights are super early. So it's $25. That's it. Super low price. We're making a ton of money. And we will see you all cashing out at the ticket window this weekend. Until next time, you guys have a great night. See you guys on Saturday.
Go Bellamir.
Yes, Bellamir. Guys, 10 minutes. Icon 2, Fighting Federation. Go watch it.
Fight Pass.
UFC Fight Pass. Go get it now. Let's get it.